8 Steps to Regain a Woman's Interest Without Begging. Old Stoic Wisdom. Love is not about possession. Love is about appreciation. Osho. Many men find themselves caught in a cycle of confusion when faced with a woman's hot and cold behavior. One moment, she's warm, engaging, and affectionate. And the next, she withdraws, distant and cold. This is no accident. It's a test of your emotional resilience and your ability to maintain your composure under pressure. Here's the unspoken truth when a woman pulls away. She's not just reacting to something you've done. She's testing the strength of your emotional frame. She's gauging whether you can stand firm, remain calm, and not crumble under the weight of her unpredictability. Most men fail this test by immediately chasing, sending a flurry of texts, or showering her with compliments in an effort to regain her attention. What you might not realize is this desperation is a massive turnoff. Chasing her or begging for her validation communicates one thing: that you're weak, unsteady, and unsure of yourself. Attraction thrives on strength and stability, not on insecurity. Hot and cold behavior can feel like a high-stakes game of poker. If you reveal your hand too soon, you lose. Women want to see whether you can handle emotional pressure with poise. If you crack under the heat, she'll perceive you as emotionally fragile, and the attraction will naturally fade. This is where the timeless principles of Stoicism come into play. Stoicism isn't about detachment or becoming emotionally numb. It's about cultivating inner strength, remaining unshaken in the face of adversity, and mastering your own emotions, regardless of the external chaos. It's not about manipulation or playing games, but about creating an emotional foundation that lets you stand steady while the world shifts around you. In the following steps, I'll outline practical ways to regain her interest without begging or overexerting yourself. By applying these principles, you'll learn to respond to hot and cold behavior with strength and wisdom, transforming the dynamic between you and her into one where you remain in control, confident, and attractive, a man she wants to pursue, not one she feels she has to rescue. Step 1. Stop reacting. Start observing. When she starts sending mixed signals, acting hot and cold, your gut reaction might be to jump in with both feet. She doesn't reply for hours. Your first instinct is to double text, suddenly distant in person. You ask, "What's wrong? Did I do something?" But here's the problem. Most men fall into the trap of reacting emotionally, and that's where things start to unravel. The danger in reacting lies in one simple truth: you're handing over all the power. You're telling her that her behavior, her mood swings, are in control of your emotions. And once she realizes she can easily push your buttons, there's a good chance she'll lose respect for you or continue testing you even more. Neither outcome benefits you. Instead, take a step back and adopt a calm, measured stance. Don't get caught up in the whirlwind of her behavior. Observe. This doesn't mean you ignore her or pretend to not care. It means you pause, you assess the situation, and you gather information without showing panic, insecurity, or frustration. You see, the difference between reacting and observing is the difference between a defendant and a detective. The defendant is trying to prove his innocence at every turn, always on the defensive. The detective, on the other hand, simply collects clues and watches the story unfold. When you take on the role of an observer, you remain steady. You become the calm presence in a sea of chaos, and women find that steadiness far more attractive than any frantic explanation or emotional outburst. Let's say you text her in the morning, and she doesn't reply until late at night with a cold, one-word response. Instead of blowing up with, "Why didn't you respond?" or flooding her with multiple follow-up texts, you simply make a mental note. You don't bring it up. You don't act bothered. You carry on with your day. Then, the next time she's suddenly warm and affectionate, you observe that too. Over time, you start to notice patterns. Maybe she's distant when she's stressed at work, or when you've cancelled plans on her. By refusing to react, you give yourself the space to step back and view the situation objectively, rather than creating unnecessary drama based on assumptions. And this calm approach, this emotional steadiness, makes her take a second look. The problem with emotional reactions is that they feed the hot and cold behavior. When you don't react, you stop feeding the fire, and instead, you become a person she can't quite figure out, someone who isn't so easily manipulated by her shifting moods. And trust me, that sense of mystery, it reignites her curiosity. This is where the old Stoic wisdom comes into play. The Stoic principles teach us to control what we can and accept what we cannot. In this case, you control your reactions and maintain your emotional balance, while you accept that her behavior is out of your hands. Developing an iron mind isn't just about not reacting. It's about knowing that your emotional stability is your greatest asset. This is exactly what ancient Stoic philosophers preached: emotional control is power. By embracing this mindset, you stop being a pawn in her emotional game and start becoming the one in control of your own. She'll start to respect you more because, deep down, everyone finds an unshakable, steady presence irresistible. In conclusion, stop playing into the hot and cold drama. Become the observer, not the reactor. Watch the patterns, stay calm, and let her wonder why you're not reacting the way every other man does. That sense of calm, that emotional steadiness, is the key to regaining her interest. In the end, you'll discover that the less you react emotionally, the more she'll be drawn to your presence. After all, it's the mystery of the unbothered man who can wield old Stoic wisdom and an iron mind that keeps her coming back for more. Step 2. Pull back twice as hard. Here's the tough pill to swallow. Gentlemen, when a woman starts pulling away, your first instinct is to do the exact opposite of what you should. You chase, you text more, you call more, you suggest spontaneous meetups, you shower her with compliments, thinking that will spark the flame. It's a natural reaction, but it's also a surefire way to send her running faster. Why? Because you're rewarding her distance with more attention. Imagine this. You give a child candy for ignoring you. What lesson does that teach exactly? Instead of closing the gap when she creates space, you must pull back twice as hard. Don't chase her. Don't try to fill the void with desperate gestures. Understand this. You don't need to beg for her interest or affection. This isn't about playing petty games or becoming cold and distant. It's about becoming the man who doesn't need her approval to feel whole. This is the essence of practical stoicism, my friend. The Stoic wisdom behind pulling back? Let's talk about Stoic rules. The ancient Stoics, men like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, understood the art of self-control and independence. They weren't slaves to their emotions or desires. Instead, they taught us that our happiness doesn't depend on external factors, like the attention of a woman. This is what separates the men who truly attract women from those who beg for attention. So, when she begins to pull away, you need to embrace the same mindset. Your worth is not determined by her response. You must stand firm in your own sense of value. When she pulls back, you pull back harder. If she takes 2 steps back, you take 3. If she takes hours to respond, you make her wonder if you're even interested anymore. Why the silent treatment works? Here's the thing. A man who values himself does not scramble for attention. He doesn't chase after affection that should be given freely. Women, yes, women are drawn to men who remain calm, collected, and secure in their own lives. A man who pulls away isn't being cruel or manipulative. He's simply showing that his world won't crumble just because she's temporarily out of it. Picture this. She's been replying with short, cold messages. Instead of doubling down and firing off even more texts, you take a step back. You don't chase her. You get on with your life. You focus on your work, your friends, your gym session, anything that brings you joy and keeps you grounded. She'll notice your silence. It'll hit her that you're not texting her obsessively, and suddenly, it flips the dynamic. You become the man she can't quite figure out. Now, she's the one asking, "Wait, what's going on? Why isn't he chasing me anymore?" This, gentleman, is where you regain her interest, not through needy actions, but through stoic detachment. The masculine value of detachment. Let's talk about the practical stoicism at play here. It's about emotional detachment, not in the sense of being cold or unkind, but in the sense of not being dependent on someone else for validation. A man who is emotionally dependent on a woman's affection is like a ship with no anchor. When she pulls away, that ship is lost at sea. But a man who stands firm, rooted in his own values, won't flounder when things aren't going his way. This is where too many men go wrong. They've been conditioned to think that persistence equals value, that by working harder, texting more, and trying to prove their worth, they'll win her over. But that's not masculine persistence. It's neediness in disguise. A man who respects himself doesn't have to prove his value. He doesn't have to chase someone for affection that should come naturally. When you take a step back, not out of spite, but as a signal of self-respect, you flip the script. You show her that your life and your happiness don't revolve around her. When she notices this, that's when she starts to wonder. Maybe she is the one who has overplayed her hand. Maybe she is the one who needs to act. That's when the attraction starts to shift back in your favor. Conclusion: the path to wisdom. In the end, pulling back isn't about punishing her. It's about showing through your actions that your world won't collapse when she creates distance. You must teach her, without words, that your value isn't up for negotiation. You must be the man who stands firm, rooted in your principles and your own self-worth. This isn't a game. This is about realigning with Stoic wisdom. When you take a step back, your value remains unchanged. The more you practice this, the more you'll find that it's not about winning her back. It's about finding a deeper path to wisdom, one that ensures you'll never need to beg for her attention again. If you find this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I am a man of value, unaffected by distance. This will help you embody the Stoic wisdom of standing strong in your self-worth and maintaining respect, even when things get tough. Let's keep the conversation going. Comment below with your thoughts. Step 3. Replace her with your mission. You want to regain and hold a woman's interest. Then, you must stop making her the center of your universe. Let that sink in. The more your life revolves around her, the faster her respect for you fades. Women are not drawn to men who bend their entire purpose around winning their approval. Your mission, whether it's your career, your business, your personal growth, or your fitness goals, must come first. That mission is your anchor. It's what drives you. It forces you to evolve, to rise, to push yourself beyond limits. This is the force that shapes your life, regardless of who enters or leaves it. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "Freedom is the only goal, and that freedom comes from mastering your own mind, not being at the mercy of someone else's approval." This is the foundation. When you live for a mission bigger than the woman, everything else will align, yet too many men make the mistake of losing themselves in relationships. They abandon their goals, neglect their passions, skip their workouts, all in the name of pleasing her. They think that giving her every ounce of their attention will reignite the spark, but it doesn't. Instead, they begin to lose the very qualities that attracted her in the first place. She watches him give up on his dreams, and she watches him, in effect, give up on himself. That's when the attraction dies. Replacing her with your mission doesn't mean abandoning her, acting indifferent, or treating her as if she doesn't matter. No, it simply means she becomes a part of your life, not the reason for it. Your mission is the driving force, and when you're locked into that mission, making moves, pursuing excellence, you radiate the energy of a man on a path, a man with purpose. That's a magnetic force. Women don't want to follow men who are standing still. They want to walk alongside men in motion. Imagine she's been distant for a while. Instead of obsessing over her absence, wasting hours scrolling through her social media or crafting the perfect text message, you throw yourself into your work, you spend extra hours in the gym, hit new milestones in your side business, and master new skills. Suddenly, she notices the change. You're different. Your confidence skyrockets. Your time becomes precious. Your energy radiates with the momentum you've built. That's when she feels it. Curiosity returns. Your shift in focus has reignited the spark. When your mission leads, You stop sending the signal that her unpredictable behavior controls your life. You send the opposite message: I am a man with direction, I have a mission, and you can walk with me, but I will keep moving forward with or without you. That is the mindset that doesn't just win her interest, it earns her enduring respect. Epictetus, in his wisdom, knew that true strength lies not in seeking validation from others, but in mastering oneself. When you let your mission define your actions and your identity, you create a life that no woman can resist. You become the embodiment of the Stoic principle. Stoicism is the path to freedom. This is how you win, not just her attention, but her respect, admiration, and lasting interest. It's not about chasing, it's about mastering your own journey. Now, let's be clear, you must be the man who's already moving forward. You must never let a woman's presence or absence determine your next move. When your mission comes first, you create a life of fulfillment, growth, and power. She may walk beside you, but you're the one charting the course. When you master that, you don't have to beg for her attention, it will come to you naturally, drawn to the strength of your purpose. That's how you win. Step 4. Patience and waiting for the right moment. In relationships, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a testament to maturity and ironclad self-confidence. When she's giving you the classic hot and cold treatment, don't rush in like a knight in shining armor, desperate to fix things. Instead, step back. Don't move too quickly. Give yourself some space to think and observe. Don't make the mistake of jumping at every moment of uncertainty. This is your chance to show that you have an iron mind, one that isn't swayed by every fleeting emotion or impulse. And trust me, this isn't about waiting around passively like some sad puppy. No, this is a calculated, calm patience that is rooted in Stoic principles. You're not ignoring her. You're just not letting her emotional tides dictate your every move. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, waiting for the right moment, acting with precision, not reacting impulsively to every shift in the wind. Your ability to stand firm without immediately reacting speaks volumes. She'll notice it. She might not admit it, but she'll be drawn to it, especially when she sees that you aren't easily swept away by the turbulence of the situation. Patience in these moments doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong in a way that feels unshakable. Why? Because when you choose to wait, you're proving that you know how to handle discomfort without panicking or scrambling for answers. You're not desperate to fill the silence or smooth over every wrinkle. Instead, you're confident enough to let things unfold on their own timeline. That's the power of Stoic wisdom in action. It's not about rushing in. It's about knowing that your time will come, and when it does, you'll be prepared. You must understand this. Waiting isn't about passivity. It's about holding space and controlling your response. You have to remind yourself that a man who masters his emotions and can handle tension without falling apart is a man who exudes power. That's why you must resist the urge to beg, to chase after every little sign of uncertainty. No, instead, stand your ground. Stand with the conviction that if the relationship is meant to work, it will on its own terms, not because of your frantic actions. Be the calm in the storm, the anchor in the chaos. And trust me, she'll notice the strength it takes to remain steady and composed when everything around you is shifting. When you take a step back and give her space, you show her the depth of your confidence. It's in your ability to wait, to observe, to learn from the situation without panicking. That is where true power lies in patience, in knowing that you are the master of your emotions. And this doesn't just come naturally, it's a direct result of applying Stoic principles in your life. You have to cultivate an iron mind, one that can weather uncertainty and still stand tall. Only then can you truly regain her interest without appearing desperate or needy. You must remain strong, unshaken, and confident in your own worth. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Step 5. Maintain independence and a separate life. Listen up, because this one's crucial. One of the biggest blunders you can make in the middle of a woman's unpredictable behavior, her hot and cold routine, is bending over backward to please her. You might think it's the key to winning her back, but let me tell you that's a trap. A lasting, healthy relationship is all about sharing experiences, not about you losing yourself in an attempt to become her version of perfect. The Stoic wisdom is clear on this: maintain your core self. You're not some chameleon who changes colours based on the environment. No, you are a man of practical stoicism, a man who stands firm, not swayed by every passing emotional breeze. The moment you start ignoring your hobbies, dropping your work to text her all day, or cancelling plans with friends just to keep her happy, you're not just losing her respect, you're losing yourself. And trust me, that's a far worse fate. You've got your own goals, your own passions, your own damn life, and if you give those things up for her, the relationship will slowly start to crumble. Why? Because she'll start to see you as dependent, and dependency is the quickest way to kill attraction. Here's the truth: she wants a man who has a life outside of her, a man who doesn't rely on her for emotional fulfillment, a man who is whole, independent, and self-sufficient, yet willing to share that life with her. That's exactly what the Stoic rules advocate for. Be a man who can stand alone, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. This doesn't mean you have to ignore her. Far from it. It means you need to maintain your autonomy, your interests, and your long-term ambitions. You're not her emotional crutch, and she's not yours. You both have your own paths to walk. That is wisdom. You share your life, yes, but not your whole existence. Your relationship should enhance your life, not define it. Let's break it down further. When you have your own pursuits, your own goals, you become someone she can admire. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by showing her that your life is fulfilling without her, but it's more exciting with her. A man with passions, ambitions, and the ability to live his own life is a man who commands respect and admiration. That's a man she'll be drawn to. Don't get trapped by the idea that she's your whole world. That is a lie. She's a wonderful part of your world, yes, but she's not the entire universe. The most attractive thing you can do for her, and for yourself, is stay grounded in who you are. Stick to your routines, keep seeing your friends, continue your work, and above all, never stop pursuing your personal goals. This isn't just good for your relationship, it's good for your soul. The paths of wisdom show us that true emotional independence is the bedrock of any successful partnership. Without it, both partners are doomed to stagnate. And as any good Stoic would tell you, grow or die. Always keep moving forward. Never make your life smaller just to fit into someone else's world. So, be the man who's respected, not because he's begging for validation, but because he's simply too focused on his own life to waste time chasing approval. The key here is not only independence, but the wisdom to know that a partnership thrives on two complete individuals coming together. Not one half-hearted man trying to please, and one woman feeling smothered. Stay true to yourself. Stay focused on your goals. Maintain your sense of self-worth, and you'll see that her feelings for you will follow suit. Your life will never be about asking for her attention. It will always be about offering her something better, a life already worth living. Step 6. Understand the emotional shifts she's going through. Do not mistake her hot and cold behavior as a direct challenge or a reflection of your worth. It's not always about you. There's a larger picture at play here, one that goes beyond the boundaries of your relationship. Life throws stress, pressure, and complications into her path, and sometimes she reacts in ways that may leave you feeling uncertain. She could be struggling with work demands, family obligations, or personal battles that you're unaware of, and it's these external factors that cause her emotional shifts. Understand this: her distance may not signify disinterest, rather, it may simply be a response to life's weight bearing down on her. The Stoic wisdom of Epictetus teaches us that we cannot control the external world, only our responses to it. That is where you must step up, instead of reacting impulsively to her emotional withdrawal. Take a moment to process. The key is understanding. Understand that her emotions may be in turmoil. And what she needs most is not your frustration, but your quiet strength and understanding. This isn't about jumping in with quick fixes or trying to make her feel better instantly. It's about demonstrating maturity. Emotional intelligence is your greatest ally in this scenario. When she's distant, show her you're not only capable of handling her emotional shifts, but you're there for her, unshaken, supportive, and steady. When you remain calm and unfazed, you exhibit that rare quality that will set you apart: patience. By patiently giving her space to navigate her emotions, you not only prove your emotional resilience, but you also create the trust and bond that will solidify her interest. The Stoics say, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Seneca. Do not let your imagination run wild when faced with her coldness. Trust in the wisdom of Stoicism. What is outside your control should not disturb your inner peace. Stand strong, show empathy without enabling. You are the rock she needs, not the storm. You must approach the situation with this in mind: patience equals power. Do not demand her attention. Earn it by being the kind of man who can handle emotional complexity with grace. This is where true masculine strength lies, not in demanding affection, but in earning her respect by mastering the emotional terrain of the relationship. Your actions will speak louder than words ever could. Instead of reacting with insecurity, show her that you understand, that you see beyond her behavior to the root of her struggles. That's how you become irreplaceable. And let's be clear, you must master your emotions first. Be grounded. Let her see that you can navigate life's storms without crumbling. It's in your ability to stay steady, no matter what, that she'll begin to see you as her pillar. In the end, Stoicism wins. When you respond with calm, empathy, and confidence, you show her that you are the kind of man she can trust with her vulnerabilities, and that, more than any romantic gesture, will regain her interest. Remember mastery of self, mastery of the relationship. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let this be your guiding principle. When life throws its emotional chaos her way, you remain unshaken, you stand tall, you win. If you've made it this far, you're showing the strength and patience that most men lack. You understand that emotional shifts are part of life, and that a true connection requires empathy and maturity. Please comment "I am the calm in her storm" to show that you're ready to stand strong, be patient, and grow emotionally in your relationship. Step 7. Set clear boundaries. Don't ever let your emotions be a puppet to her strings. Boundaries are not just an option in any relationship. They are a necessity. When you let her mood sway your feelings or actions, you lose power, and that's something you cannot afford. It's like giving away your strength for free. You must recognize that maintaining a strong sense of self requires knowing what you will and won't tolerate, and making sure you communicate that clearly. It's not about being harsh or unfeeling. It's about being firm, grounded, and resolute in your needs. Think about the ancient Stoic principles. They taught us that true control comes from within, not from outside forces. Letting her moods dictate your behavior is a classic sign of losing your grip on your iron mind. Be steady. Don't allow her to play emotional chess with you, turning you into her pawn with every mood swing. When you establish boundaries, you're not saying you don't care. In fact, it's the opposite. You care enough about yourself to never let anyone manipulate your emotions. Women respect men who stand their ground, who aren't easily swayed by a little drama or manipulation. And let's be clear, hot and cold behavior is a game, one that you're not obligated to play. You must be the man who values his own principles above all else, knowing that your value doesn't fluctuate based on someone else's inconsistency. A man who practices Old Stoic wisdom understands this. The greatest form of control is the control you have over yourself. Let your actions reflect your iron mind, your unwavering character, and your solid boundaries. You can't expect her to respect you if you're constantly bending to her whims. In fact, the more you tolerate inconsistency, the more she'll take you for granted, thinking she can control you like a puppet. That's not respect. That's manipulation. and it's something no Stoic man will allow. By setting these clear boundaries, you are teaching her that you won't tolerate the emotional chaos of the hot and cold game. She'll begin to see you as the calm in the storm, the one who stands firm, who is not manipulated by fleeting emotions, and that shift will make her reassess her own actions, perhaps realizing that she needs to treat you with more respect and consistency. This is where Old Stoic wisdom comes into play. It's about mastering your emotions and behavior in the face of external forces. If you let every little mood swing or inconsistency shake you, you'll never regain control. So, establish those boundaries and make them known. Don't wait for her to change. Change yourself first by strengthening your resolve. She'll see this strength and respect you for it, not for your willingness to dance to her every whim. Your Stoic principles will guide you here. You must stand firm, be unwavering, and protect your own peace of mind. Only then will you start to regain the respect and interest you seek. Step 8. Boost self-confidence and be decisive. Self-confidence and decisiveness aren't just buzzwords. They're fundamental traits that separate the men who get respect from the men who get walked all over. This is especially true when you're facing hot and cold behavior from someone you care about. When a woman pulls away, the natural instinct for many men is to try harder, to chase her, to beg for her approval, or to shower her with compliments in the hope of regaining her interest. But here's the truth, those moves only make you look weak. Desperation is like a neon sign flashing over your head, saying, "I'm unsure of myself." And that's not the kind of energy you want to project if you want to regain a woman's respect and attraction. Instead, you must develop a stronger, more commanding presence that is grounded in self-confidence. When she becomes distant, you need to stand tall, grounded in your own sense of worth. You don't have to prove anything to her. By remaining calm, composed, and decisive in the face of uncertainty, you show her that you're not easily shaken or manipulated. This isn't about being cold or aloof. It's about recognizing your value and holding your ground. And remember, this ties directly into the Stoic rules that have been practiced for thousands of years. True Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being in control of your emotions, especially when life throws challenges your way. Practical Stoicism teaches you to stay centered and not let external circumstances, like her coldness, sway you from your principles. When she behaves unpredictably, don't chase after her affection. Don't turn into a puppet on a string. In fact, don't chase at all. Instead, focus on yourself. Focus on becoming the man who is strong enough to withstand any emotional storm. Someone who is unbothered by her occasional detachment. In this moment, be decisive. Stand firm. Make choices based on what serves your own well-being, not on how you can manipulate the situation to win her back. This is about respecting yourself first and foremost. Be aware that a woman's mood will shift, just as the weather does, but your emotional state. It should be like a rock. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In practical terms, when she pulls back, don't fight it. Instead, let it go. The path to wisdom often requires you to step back, to let things unfold naturally. When you rush to solve a problem before it's even truly a problem, you lose sight of the bigger picture. Take a page out of the ancient wisdom of the Stoics. Do not react impulsively to emotional turbulence. The paths of wisdom tell us that the wise man chooses his responses carefully, never allowing external events to disturb his inner peace. You are the captain of your own ship. Her mood swings might rock the boat, but it's up to you to keep the course steady. Don't let her emotional temperature dictate your actions. By remaining calm and confident, you reinforce the idea that your worth is not contingent on her approval. Don't beg. Don't fawn over her when she's distant. Instead, invest that energy into yourself. Build your strength, your confidence, your clarity of purpose. The more you focus on becoming a man of value, someone who can stand firm regardless of external conditions, the more irresistible your presence will become. Remember, real attraction is grounded in mutual respect, not in emotional manipulation or insecurity. You must cultivate decisiveness. When you make a decision, commit to it fully. Don't waver. This doesn't mean being rigid or unyielding in every circumstance, but it does mean being sure of your direction. Don't let doubt creep in. If she's distant, don't second-guess yourself or immediately run after her. Instead, take a step back and trust that your grounded self-assurance is more attractive than any desperate attempt to win her approval. In the end, the Stoic rules guide us toward inner peace and stability, teaching us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. By following the practical Stoicism that champions self-mastery and emotional resilience, you'll not only regain her interest, but also maintain her respect. Be calm, be decisive, and above all, be the man who holds fast his own values, regardless of the emotional weather around him. When you do, you'll find that the attraction you seek will come to you naturally. Thanks for watching. Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to dive into this topic with me. Here's the thing, don't let emotional reactions dictate your actions. If you act like her attention is everything, you're setting yourself up to fail. Remember, when you stop chasing and instead focus on your mission, that's when the game changes. It's not about playing games. It's about being the kind of man who has options, who doesn't need approval. So, my advice to you when you face that hot and cold behavior, pull back, focus on what's important to you and flip the script. Curiosity will do more for you than begging ever could. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know how you handled a woman's hot and cold behavior. What worked for you? What didn't? Share your experience so we can all grow together. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to give you the hard truths that help you become a better man and a better partner. Stay sharp. I'll see you in the next video.